Good morning, comrades. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Nürburgring. I hope you all are having a fantastic Friday. And speaking of Friday and the Nürburgring, the news of the day is, of course, Tesla Model S Plaid setting the Nürburgring lap record for EVs. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about it and even more. But before we get started, in case you're new to this channel, consider subscribing and smashing that notification bell harder than Tesla smashed the Nürburgring lap record for daily Nürburgring content, onboards, etc., etc. So now let's get started with the main topic of the day. My inbox absolutely exploded this morning. Everyone sending me, of course, the tweet of Elon Musk. He said, Tesla Model S Plaid just set official world speed record for a production electric car at Nürburgring, completely unmodified directly from factory. And then there's a picture published with the lap time saying 7 minutes 30 seconds 909 and 7 minutes and 35 seconds 579. Those two lap times refer to the two different track configuration, the full lap, which was ran in 7 minutes 35, and the so-called sport auto lap, which is run over the distance of 20.6 opposed to 20.8 kilometer track, to give it a comparison with the previous lap records which were in the past set according to this track specification. I explained it multiple times already, the difference between the two, but now let's just talk about the actual full lap time. And later on we're going to compare it to the sport auto lap time, where we'll be comparing it to Porsche Taycan lap record. Yes, but first of all, let's talk a bit about the tweet. It has set official world speed record for a production electric car at the Nürburgring. Well, more like a lap time for the fastest car around the Nürburgring, the fastest EV car. There's even more beyond that. Completely unmodified directly from factory. If I would to have to nitpick about it, I would say it's not completely unmodified. You can see it's running different seat, it's running a roll cage, it's running a data logger, a battery management system, probably a couple of other things. But more importantly, this record was notarized and verified by the Nürburgring. It was done during the official lap timing session, so I reached out to the Nürburgring to ask if it was fully legit, and they said yes, it is legit. At the moment of shooting this video that you're watching right now, actually they are waiting for the official video, so to say, which will include the G-forces, the actual lap timer count. The video that has been published now by Tesla, or maybe even said by Elon Musk, it was just like a quick video, and hey, we cannot blame him. He was probably as excited as a kid on a Christmas Eve and like, hey, let's push it out what we have, the material. But there's a more, so to say, sophisticated video coming out, which will be published on the Nürburgring channels and probably also with a press release related to that. Now, in addition, I want to say that it would be cool if Tesla themselves actually would make like a more detailed press release, because although the general public don't care about the actual specifics and details, if Elon Musk would have said like, hey, we're on a 5-minute lap record time, they would have believed it. But I do also believe that the core audience of Tesla are actually techpreneurs, are actually people who care about details. They really are like really into nerdy facts. So it would be nice to know what specification, which modes it was running, what was used for the battery heat management, something I will go later on into detail later on. So it would be cool if Tesla could provide those facts. But as mentioned, the lap time is legit. It was done during the official lap timing session, so notary checked if the car is actually in production tires, spec tires, whether it is on Michelin PS4S or a semi-slick tire. I think it was actually running probably PS4Ss, because you can see the car actually struggle a lot in certain corners with the weight, something that this behavior is related to the PS4S. So everything is good. So I don't think they ran like different suspension or ran overboost or crazy aero. This is legit. This is all you need to know. This is most important. Now, in addition, what I want to say is that the driver, Andreas Simonsen, first of all, massive congratulations to him for achieving this impressive feat, but also, since I would like to personally put him more in the spotlight, he's not only a great driver who's competed a couple of decades already by now, probably, in Nürburgring 24-hour races. He has set multiple lap records. He was driving for Scuderia Cameron Glickenhaus team and N24. More importantly, apart from being a good driver, he's also a great human being. A month ago, when he was actually preparing for this lap record feature, on a 1 day off that he had between those training sessions, training attempts, he decided to come and help out, make his hands dirty, and come help out in the affected areas of the flood. When we had a small conversation, but of course he was not allowed to say a lot.
The smell is incredible in there.
It is. Cheers. You driving some fast Teslas on Monday again?
Maybe. At least I'll be strong enough to turn the car.
How's the new fancy steering wheel? NDA. Okay. Now let's move on to, I would even say, more juicier part of this video. And having said that, I would like to address people who quite often call me Porsche fanboy whenever I talk about Porsche lap records and other manufacturers' lap records and other manufacturers' lap records that I am quite skeptical about. In this case, it's going to be completely different. And hereby, I do want to emphasize that I'm now no fanboy of anyone. I try to bring news as objective as possible. So in this case, let's talk about Porsche's lap record that has started it all back in August 2019, when they communicated that they have set a lap record of 7 minutes 42 over the sport auto configuration of the track. So this means 20.6 kilometer racetrack. And they had the lap record for the fastest sports EV with 4 doors, fastest sedan. The big issue, the big but, however, is that it was done during the private session or the industry pool session. It was not done during the actual notarized lap record attempt. So Porsche, they came and they did something with a pre-production series, actually. So it was not even like a production spec vehicle back then. They did it, and it's still a great time, great effort by Lars Kern. But when you go on the Nürburgring website, among the lap records for the EVs, Taycan is simply not there because it is not being recognized by anyone other than Porsche. So having said that, it's not only impressive for Tesla, Elon Musk, Andreas Simonsen, and everyone involved in the team that they have set the fastest time, they're actually also officially the very first EV, the production spec EV outside Volkswagen IDR, of course, to have set a Nürburgring lap record, which is verified and notarized and acknowledged by everyone here. So for that, massive applause. Now, I'm going to say even beyond that, as someone who is actually into EV scene and likes EVs, I think it's kind of embarrassing towards German manufacturers in general that Tesla came here 2 years ago and they started doing all these activities. They started putting superchargers here. They have a great supercharger network here, and now they have set this feat. And now when I have any other EV, there is no single supercharger, a fast charger for EV other than Tesla. Tesla has a great supercharger network here at the Nürburgring Boulevard, and with any other, you have 25 kilowatts. So like, yeah, you can charge your battery over 5 or 6 hours. So guys, Germany, which is one of the leading countries in EV market, EV manufacturing, get your shit together. This is like, really, you need to do something about it. And hereby we can also move on and asking, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Well, first of all, Elon Musk said something as well. He made a second tweet. He said, next will be modified Plaid with added aero surfaces, carbon brakes and track tires, all things that can be done without Tesla being in the loop. So it could be a hint that Unplugged Performance, who were very successful in Pikes Peak, might come here and do something with their modified car. Would be great to see, of course. Now, of course, also in 2019, we have to go back again to September 2019, after Taycan has set the lap record. We saw already Model S's, prototypes of Plaid specification back then running here. And some people clocked them at 7 minutes 23, some people clocked them even at 7 minutes 13, some people say they even measured 7:09, which were ridiculous times, but I have seen, and other people have seen these cars up close, and there was nothing to do with production spec car. There were like massive carbon ceramic brakes, KW competition, suspension, the complete stripped out interior. So that was far from being stock, but we can have some sort of indication what even more modified Tesla S Plaid can do. And hopefully this will also encourage some of the future and current owners to do something with their Model S Plaid to see what can be done. You can actually enjoy that car on the track, and I'm sure there are also lots of upgrades will be available for this car. Now this is when it comes to Tesla in the future. Now let's go back towards Porsche. Will Porsche do anything? Because first of all, as mentioned, not only is the previous record not officially acknowledged by everyone, it was also set by Porsche Taycan Turbo. So Porsche Taycan Turbo S is actually more powerful, I believe 750 horsepower over 670, but those extra horsepower are only available for 2.5 seconds in overboost. So I don't think there would be much more difference. They cannot really gain probably more than 12 seconds on that. That is required to beat Tesla's lap time. I don't think it will happen, maybe, if we have to speculate even further, because I know we have seen in the past whenever a manufacturer claims a lap record from Porsche, like AMG, most in the recent cases, Porsche will immediately come back and regain that record again. Now, the man who was driving the Porsche Taycan Turbo in 2019 unfortunately has an injury now, Lars Kern, so he has to miss out the 6-hour race of this weekend, which is taking place today and tomorrow. So I don't think it will happen in the next month or so. Of course, they could put Kevin Astre in there, but we have also kind of not too good of a weather, yada, 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 speculations. I think Taycan will need a bit of a more update to actually manage that. Now, another contender could be, of course, Rimac's Nevera, and especially since in the recent times they have set lots of records. They also directly compared it against Plaid model on the drag strips by dragtimes.com. They shown that Nevera is actually faster. And although I could have reached out to Rimac's team and asked them for their opinion, but then I would be like blocked by NDAs. So I didn't ask them anything, but we know in the past that Mate and the team have simulated Nürburgring runs, and there is definitely ambition to come here. They were always open about it. But honestly, I don't think it will happen very soon. But it might. Who knows? It would be definitely great. And yeah, I would definitely be very happy to see them here. But this is all speculation, and there is one thing that I want to add to it, is that on the Nürburgring lap record section on the website, you have distinction between hot hatches, SUVs, sports cars, supercars, hypercars, prototypes, and EVs. Now that we're moving towards electrification, it would be great to actually have distinction of EVs, hot hatches, for example, Hyundai RM, Rimac, they made a concept car, but I'm sure at some point we're going to have a hot hatch of any EV, to SUVs, EQG. There might be a EQG AMG version at some point. So it would be great to have that distinction. I asked the Nürburgring about it, and they said, yeah, the issue that there is that those classifications are not done by us, but by actual official German authorities of the transportation. So these categories are there, but there is no category for EV SUV, EV sports car, or. So I think that distinction needs to come just for the sake of the official information. There's one more final thing that I want to say for today's topic, is that it is great to see that already now for 95 years, the Nürburgring is still the place to show what your car can do. That is the track for test and development. That Tesla was here over the last 2 years developing their car to what it is now today, and now setting the lap record. And it doesn't matter if it is an internal combustion engine car or an EV, and maybe at some point Back to the Future floating car, who knows, magnets and that kind of stuff, science, yeah. Again, talking nonsense, this means it's the end of the video. I think it is really cool, and this gives me, this makes me happy. I wouldn't say gives me hope, because that sounds a bit negative, as if things are going bad, but it is great to see that we in the future can also enjoy electric cars on the Nürburgring once they have solved, of course, the infrastructure that I mentioned before for other vehicles than Tesla, and also the more obvious issues that you have with EVs, such as the heat management, because you could have seen also on the onboard that the driver, Andreas Simonsen, is quite often coasting and lifting to avoid battery from overheating. So again, going back to the topic that I was mentioning in the past, what the future will have to bring for other manufacturers, I think Model S Plaid will become even faster at some point once they have this heat issue. Maybe there's no issue at all, but if the car will perform even better or will be able to go flat out through the sections without coasting. So that's all I had to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you're new to this channel, subscribe, like, share, you know what to do. And most importantly, I wish you a great weekend, and check out the live stream of the NLS, the 6-hour race, endurance race here at the Nürburgring in case you have no weekend plans. And other than that, hope to see you maybe Sunday here live at the track, where we're going to be doing some more laps, and in one of the upcoming videos otherwise. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.